mean, listen, he ain't my cup of tea, but I haven't got to like him, you know, and that's that. But ultimately, we're going to both go in there and put it all on the line, and the best man's going to win, which I believe will be myself.
Tensions rose at the grand arrivals as Conor Benn kept his composure and spoke with confidence. He made it clear that respect isn't needed. Only victory matters when he steps into the ring. As the buzz settled, Nigel Benn stepped forward with a blunt line to his son. He stated, "You lost. Now you have to go and put it right." Nigel's words hit with real weight, the kind that makes everyone stop and listen. It wasn't just advice. It was a father reminding his son what's at stake. You could see Conor take it in, calm but burning inside with purpose. The message was clear. This time, there's no room for mistakes. The pressure, the pride, the need to set things right, it all built up in that moment. This fight isn't just another headline. It's personal redemption waiting to happen. Even Spencer Oliver didn't hold back and guided Conor Benn about the game plan. His words were a clear warning for Benn if he truly wants to win this fight.
I think the biggest thing that he's going to have learned from that first fight that he's going to take into the second fight is control your emotions, because I think that's where the fight was lost last time. You know, he allowed the emotions to take over and that affected his performance. He was just winging away and there was no real thought process, you know, behind his work. I think that if Conor Benn wants to win this fight, and he has got a great chance of doing that, he has to close the space, he's got to work the body early, and it's got to be educated pressure. You know, he's got to take his timings, pick his timings, and, you know, and try and execute them at the right times, and I think that that's how he wins a fight.
He broke down the first fight like a man who's seen it all before. The problem wasn't power or skill, it was emotion. This time, Benn can't afford to fight with anger. He needs control, patience, and smart pressure. The margin for error is razor thin, and one reckless swing could change everything. If Benn keeps his focus, his chances rise, but if emotions take over, history could repeat itself. It's a mental war as much as a physical one, and Oliver knows exactly what's at stake. The rivalry runs deeper than just two fighters. It's decades of family pride and history. Spencer Oliver captured that perfectly while pointing out the risks for the older Eubank.
Andy, this is all about the egos, isn't it? And it's always been that way. You know, there's a family rivalry that goes back over 30 years, and the fathers, you know, they delivered, and they are their father's sons. And I think that what we saw, you know, back in April at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was an unbelievable fight, you know, a gladiatorial fight where both guys left it all in the ring, but there's always got to be a narrative, you know, that was span around it. We knew that Chris Eubank Jr. was struggling to make the weight. He got paid extra money, so that rehydration clause was put into place. But it is a worry, you know, as a fighter gets older, he's 36 years of age now, and I know better than anyone that struggling to make that weight, how hard that can be, takes the punch resistance and all of that away, and I think we saw a little bit of that.
This isn't just another boxing match. It's legacy versus legacy, ego versus endurance. The Benn and Eubank names have always carried fire, and that fire still burns through their sons. But time catches up, and Oliver's tone hinted at real concern. Cutting weight at 36 isn't easy, and pushing through it could cost more than just a fight. The question now is whether Eubank's experience can overcome his body's limits. Every round will test both pride and preparation. This is family history reborn inside the ropes. Spencer Oliver made it clear that the risk of Eubank's weight is real. His insight hit hard for anyone who knows what a few ounces can do in the fight game.
I think the argument here, guys, is are you putting wealth over health where it should be health over wealth? You know, but Chris Eubank Jr. has always boxed at 160 pounds, so there's nothing to say. He's not dropping down in weight. He's just getting tighter at it as the years are going on. But he missed it, and like, listen, I know again better than anyone. If you miss that weight by a couple of ounces, and it doesn't sound a lot to people that are listening to this, but trust me, when a fight is dry, them couple of ounces that can have a 20-30% effect on your performance, and I think we saw that last time against Conor Benn.
To the casual eye, a small miss on the scales means nothing, but to a fighter, it can drain strength, reaction, and willpower. Oliver explained how even a few ounces can turn a confident athlete into a shadow of himself. That's what happened before, and it might happen again if caution isn't taken. Eubank's power and sharpness depend on every drop of hydration he keeps. The fans want fireworks, but there's a silent danger behind that weigh-in moment. In this rematch, making weight might be the hardest fight of all. Oliver then turned his focus to Eubank's new setup, a fresh team, a fresh plan, but also fresh risks. His words painted both hope and doubt before the rematch.
But, you know, he's got a different training team now. He's left Jonathan Banks. He's now with Bomac. Bomac is instrumental in the guy that come up with a game plan for Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez, so he's in good hands. They've been training like dogs, you know, you've seen that, and he will be in the condition of his life. We just don't know what the effects of that last fight had with him, because we saw that, you know, he went to hospital after, severely dehydrated, and that can have a pound of effect on a fighter, you know, when you're going into this stage of your career.
Switching trainers can revive a fighter, but it can also shake things up. Under Bomac, Eubank now trains with world-level intensity, chasing a comeback story worth remembering. Yet behind that drive lingers the memory of his last hospital visit, dehydration, fatigue, and pain. At 36, recovery isn't what it used to be, and Oliver knows it. He gave credit where it's due, but didn't ignore the warning signs. Eubank's body may be fit, but only fight night will reveal if it's truly ready. Until then, uncertainty lingers in every punch. As he summed up the rivalry, Spencer Oliver couldn't hide his excitement for what's coming. His words carried both respect and anticipation for a fight that could steal the year.
It's another fascinating fight for all the reasons that I've just pointed out, because we don't know what effect that's had on Chris Eubank Jr., that last fight, and the struggles to make that weight, because I mean, that was one of the greatest fights I've seen in the British ring, if I'm honest. Both guys left it in there, and it was the 12th round was absolutely insane. Do they take off from where that 12th round? Do we start off from round 13? If we do, we're all in for an unbelievable fight.
The first clash left fans speechless. It was chaos, heart, and grit all rolled into 12 unforgettable rounds. Now, Oliver wonders if round 13 begins where they left off: the energy, the revenge, the unfinished business. It's all still there. Both fighters have something to prove, and neither wants to step back. The rematch isn't just another night, it's a continuation of war. Expect fireworks, blood, and heart-stopping moments. If the last one was unforgettable, this could be legendary. Spencer Oliver further shifted the talk to what's really driving this rematch. He gave it straight that this fight isn't just about titles, it's about legacy, pride, and serious money.
I think when you're getting 18 million quid, that's what we're hearing the split is. I think that, you know, Conor Benn might be getting 8 million quid, and Chris Eubank Jr. is getting 10 million. If
Quite a
you
lot
go,
of money, isn't it?
yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to do that, aren't you? I'll go like, yeah, all right, this is called prize fighting. That's what we want to do. Yeah, you all want to win the belts, and the belts will be there. If Eubank Jr. wins that, he's world ranked in the middleweight division. You know, Janabek is the WBO and IBF champion. Carlos Adames, WBC champion. You know, he can look at fighting one of those. Lara's the WBA champion. There's the opportunity for him there. He's world ranked there. And for Conor Benn, he's dropping back down to 147, Mario Barrios or someone like that. You know, that will be the fight that they will be looking for. So there is opportunity after this for both guys, but when you're getting that sort of money, put it this way, when they box for the world titles, they'll probably be getting less than half the money that they were going to be getting for fighting each other here. And why? Because they're their father's sons, and there's a story behind it.
18 million on the table changes everything. It turns a rivalry into a payday that even world titles can't match. But behind the cash lies a deeper story of family names and unfinished business. Both men carry the weight of generations, and that pressure fuels every punch. Win or lose, careers will shift after this night. As the tension built, Eubank Jr. didn't buy into Benn's new calm attitude. His response carried that trademark edge. Part warning, part reminder of what's coming.
I don't know, I've only seen the guy once. He was cracking some jokes when we were facing off. It's not going to be funny when that bell goes in a couple of days' time, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens.
He wasn't impressed by talk of composure or control. To him, that means nothing once the punches start flying. Eubank made it clear that fight night strips away all masks. No calm, no act, just truth. He spoke with quiet confidence, the kind that comes from scars and experience. There was no need to raise his voice. His tone alone said it all. He's been here before, seen emotions crumble under pressure. Benn might talk discipline, but Eubank made sure everyone knew. He's the one who thrives in the storm. When that first bell rings, all talk ends. The talk then shifted from rivalry to purpose, and Eubank Jr. spoke like a man still burning with hunger. His words carried the weight of a fighter who refuses to fade.
I'm a fighter. This is my life. This is what I was born to do. You know, I've heard people, including my father, say that retirement is on the cards. You know, I should sail off into the sunset. It's just not who I am. As long as I have that fire in me to keep getting in that ring and keep getting in them gyms and waking up early, I love the lifestyle. I love who I am as a fighter and the way it makes me feel. So that's all it is, testing myself, giving the fans what they want to see, and pushing myself as far as I can go. That's the motivation now.
He sounded more alive than ever, like boxing still fuels his heartbeat. Retirement chatter, even from his own father, didn't shake him. Instead, it seemed to push him harder. This fight isn't about money or fame. It's about proving he still belongs at the top. He thrives on the grind, the pain, the sacrifice that defines real fighters. The ring for him isn't just work, it's home. And as fight night draws closer, you can feel it. Eubank isn't just ready to fight, he's ready to remind the world why he's still here. On the other side, Conor Benn looked more focused than ever. He spoke like a man who's carried the weight, learned the lessons, and is finally ready to show it all.
Yeah, listen, I'm just excited. All the hard work's done now, ready to just jump in there and do a number on him, to be honest, mate. Yeah, just better prepared. I mean, I've done everything I could with what I had, so to be here now, I feel more prepared. At middleweight, it's my first fight up at middleweight, so I feel like I filled into the weight nicely. Yeah, I feel good, man.
You could sense the calm confidence in his words. No overhype, just quiet belief. He's been through chaos before, but this time feels different. The preparation, the weight, the mindset, everything seems to have clicked into place. Ben knows the pressure that comes with this moment, yet he looks comfortable in it. This isn't the reckless fighter from before. This is a sharper, more calculated version. Every glance, every word hinted that he's ready to prove something. When that bell rings, he plans to show the difference hard work makes. Carrying that same focused energy, Ben spoke again, this time with intent in his voice. He wasn't just confident, he sounded like a man who's already seen how this fight ends.
So it's quite funny, but yeah, I'm excited to go in there and just do what we know I can do. You know, I know I can hurt him, and I'm going to go out there and capitalise on the mistakes he made in the first fight and go out there and give the fans what they want.
There was no hesitation in his tone. Only purpose. He's studied Eubank, learned from every mistake, and now he's ready to capitalize. The fire inside him burns steady, not wild, but controlled. This time, it's about precision, not emotion. He knows what he can do, and more importantly, he knows how to do it. The fans can feel it too, and that quiet danger in his words. Ben isn't coming to survive. He's coming to make a statement and finish what he started. Every round will be a test of patience and power, and if he executes his plan right, it could be the night that defines his career. Looking back at the first fight, Conor Benn showed rare honesty. He admitted that some things in that ring caught him off guard and changed how he sees this rematch.
Yeah, he took me by surprise. How resilient he is. Yeah. How awkward he is. Yeah, yeah, but I still thought I would have. Listen, though we would talk about the weights, I still thought I would have had him early. I meant it. When I say something, I mean what I say. I'm not just saying it going, yeah, I'm gonna knock you out. I genuinely thought I'd get rid of him early, and you know, I was wrong. You know, he gave me my toughest fight to date. His cardio surprised me, his heart surprised me, his awkwardness, his experience. Yeah, it took me by surprise.
Ben spoke with the tone of a man who's learned the hard way. He gave credit where it was due, acknowledging the grit and awkward rhythm of Eubank Jr. The surprise wasn't just physical, it was mental. For once, Ben looked like someone who respected what stood across from him, but that respect doesn't mean fear, it means awareness. He's seen what Eubank brings and now knows exactly how to break it down. This time, he's not coming in guessing. He's coming in ready to expose every weakness. As he looked ahead, Ben reminded everyone why he's still pushing forward. The rivalry may burn bright, but his hunger for gold burns brighter. He stated, he's near done. You know, I still want to get that world title for me just to take it off. That line summed up everything, raw ambition wrapped in pride. Ben doesn't just want to win, he wants to prove he belongs at the world level. He sees Eubank as a stepping stone, not a finish line. The tone in his voice wasn't arrogance, it was certainty. He's still chasing that one defining moment, the belt that makes everything worth it. It's not just about beating a rival anymore. It's about legacy. And for Ben, that hunger is what makes him dangerous. Every fight now feels like a mission to silence doubt. And this one could finally be the moment he turns potential into history. As the momentum from earlier segments settles, the tone shifts to what this rematch actually feels like. Ade Oladipo draws a sharp line between the chaos of last time and the quieter burn of this one.
More carnage, more brutality. That first fight was so good. It was so good. You can understand why these guys have got it on again. Like I've said, the build-up doesn't feel the same. I was at the Grand Arrivals yesterday. It felt like it was starting to spark a little bit. Like people are like, okay, cool, this is actually happening. on Saturday. But yes, it does feel different. Of course it's going to feel different. We've seen it already. The first fight was just insane. And I'm not talking about the fight, just the build-up was insane. So, I mean, if we're comparing it to that, then clearly, I mean, it's like comparing Rocky 1 to Rocky 2. I mean, Rocky 1 was the story, right? Rocky 2 was like, oh, we've seen Rocky 1 already.
He makes it clear that while the atmosphere feels different, the fire beneath it is still alive. The first fight was madness from start to finish, but this one carries a colder, heavier tension. Fans are slower to rise, but the buzz is building with every stare and every word. There's less noise in the buildup, yet more danger. Once the gloves come on, Aid compares it to a sequel with higher stakes. Less hype, more substance. From atmosphere to tactics, the focus moves to Eubank's corner. Aid wonders if a new voice can calm a fighter who usually only listens to himself.
But look, I think it's still going to be another good fight. I think both guys are going to come out throwing. I think we might see a bit more boxing. I do wonder if Bomac being added to Conor Benn, to Eubank's team, brings a sense of sort of calm and Eubank listening to him. Eubank listens to no one. Eubank's his own boss, but I do feel with Bomac there, he's almost forced to listen because that's Bomac who trains the best fighter in the world. And the best fighter in the world listens to him, so there's a bit of that.
He suggests that Bomac's presence could be the game changer Eubank never knew he needed. For years, Eubank has relied on instinct and pride, often ignoring structure. But now, under Bomac's guidance, he might finally bring strategy to his natural talent. Aid points out that this partnership could bring calm to the chaos, something that's often been Eubank's downfall. If he sticks to the plan, he could control every exchange. But if he reverts to old habits, Ben will be waiting to exploit every opening. The conversation tightens around intangibles, confidence, weight, and experience. Aday weighs a favorite, but he doesn't dismiss the live dog in this rematch.
You know, I struggle to pick a win. In fact, that's a lie. I think Eubank is the favorite. But I do feel like this fight has, I don't know, like Conor seems a bit more confident. Conor last time out at a heavier weight, and he was heavier. I know he's fought at 154 before, but he was a lot heavier than he's ever been, or at least heavier, not a lot heavier. So I think he knows now that, okay, I can go 12 rounds at that pace, at this weight. That's experience that he's now banked. He would have felt everything that Chris could throw at him, all the size, all the power, all the strength. I'm dealing with all the issues going into the first fight, all the mind games. He's now dealt with that. He's a lot stronger because of that, right? He seems to be able to blank a lot of that out now.
He admits Eubank may still hold the edge, but Ben's newfound confidence could shift everything. After going 12 rounds at a heavier weight, Ben knows exactly what to expect. The punches, the pace, the pressure, none of it surprises him anymore. He's grown stronger from the experience, both physically and mentally. Aid notes that the mind games that once got to Ben might not work this time. His composure feels real, his focus deeper. If he stays steady and executes late, it could turn into the fight of his life. Then comes the hard truth. Time. Aid questions how many wars a 36-year-old can take and what the scale takes out before a punch is thrown.
For Chris, my concerns for Chris are, you're 36, you took a lot of damage in the first fight. Yes, you won it, but at that age, it just takes longer to recover from that type of damage. How many more of those beatings can you take? Conor's relatively fresh, so Conor's not taken. That was Conor's hardest fight. Chris has had a couple of those now. And I just wonder about that weight cut again. Like, Chris should be so far away from 160, it's crazy. Like, he stands next to me. He's a little bit taller than me. And I'm like, he's frame, so his side on frame is so small. So small. And I'm like, dude, you should be at 168. Like, what are you doing at 160? Like, no. And he's been, like, when did he fight George Groves? 7-8 years ago, maybe a bit longer. I think that was one of his last fights at 168, right? Part of that World Boxing Super Series. He's obviously fought at 160 since then. He should so be at 168. It's crazy. So my fear for him is, I think he should be at 168, yet he's fighting at 160 and has this rehydration cap. That has to take it out of you.
He highlights the toll that years of fighting have taken on Eubank's body. Recovery isn't the same anymore. What took days now takes weeks. The weight cut adds another layer of risk, draining energy before the real fight even starts. Aid paints the picture of a fighter pushing limits that may no longer exist. The younger man across the ring looks fresher, sharper, and hungrier. If fatigue creeps in during the later rounds, it could be the difference between victory and collapse. For Eubank, it's not just about skill anymore, it's about whether his body can still handle the war. Finally, Aid balances danger with pedigree. He still leans toward the technician, but warns that youth and pace could crack the door wide open.
That's dangerous to me. It's risky and it's dangerous. That being said, he is the better boxer of the two. He's the more experienced of the two. I don't know if he has more punch resistance than Conor, again, just because of age and wear and tear and what he's doing in terms of taking all the water out of his body to make the weight. So I have him as a favorite, but I think this is very, very close. Very close. Like I've said that if Conor almost doesn't start like a crazy madman like he did and just sort of has energy in the last 4 or 5 rounds, then he will come on so strong. Just because he's younger. This isn't a case of me picking Conor over Eubank. He's just younger. It's a young man's game.
He respects Eubank's experience and ring IQ, but reminds everyone that age doesn't wait. The young fighter brings energy, speed, and hunger that can overwhelm a veteran's rhythm. Aid believes that if Ben manages his pace and saves energy for the late rounds, momentum could shift sharply in his favor, yet he doesn't count out Eubank's precision or patience, qualities that win close fights. The matchup becomes more than power versus skill, it's experience versus endurance. And as Aid sums it up, in boxing it's always a young man's game. If Ben stays calm and follows a smart plan, he can edge the championship rounds. But if Eubank keeps the fight tidy behind experience and doesn't fade from the cut, he can drag it into his rhythm. My lean, slight goes to the fighter who manages emotions better on the night. Control beats chaos in a rematch. What do you think? Who's got the better game plan for round 1 to round 12? Do you think the weight cut matters more than people admit? Which corner will adjust faster mid-fight? And if this explodes late, whose engine do you trust? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.